Hello and welcome to this new series on a new topic. This series will be on nationalism, and in subsequent tutorials I shall be covering different aspects of nationalism, such as I will start with first meaning and definitions of nationalism. Then I will talk about historical development of nationalism. Then we'll speak about features of nationalism, followed by factors responsible for growth of nationalism, then merits of nationalism, and last demerits of nationalism. आप सबका स्वागत है इस न्यू सीरीज़ में। ये सीरीज़ नेशनलिज्म के ऊपर है और आने वाले कुछ समय में मैं नेशनलिज्म के रिलेटेड ट्यूटोरियल अपलोड करूँगा, जैसे कि मीनिंग एंड डेफिनेशंस ऑफ नेशनलिज्म, हिस्टोरिकल डेवलपमेंट ऑफ नेशनलिज्म, फीचर्स ऑफ नेशनलिज्म, फैक्टर्स रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर नेशनलिज्म, merits and demerits of the nationalism. So this is all about going to be my take on nationalism. So let us start with this tutorial. First, meaning and definitions of nationalism. Well, now before we directly starts with the meaning and nationalism, we just need to understand a little part of nationalism, that nationalism is the most significant force in modern time, and therefore for the students of political science, particularly the students of political theory, an understanding of nationalism is an indispensable as a process of a master key to a person seeking to enter all the rooms in the building. And therefore to understand nationalism is very important for all the political science students, because once you understand the nationalism, I think everything becomes very systematic. So now let us start with the meaning and definitions of nationalism. Well, nationalism is a spiritual concept which originates in the people having the same race, language, traditions and culture, religion, politics, inhabiting a territory of a geographic unity. It's very simple that when we talk about nationalism, nationalism is a spiritual concept which originates with the people of that particular state or a country. And how it originates? By having the same race, if they belong to a same race, if they speak same language, if they have the same traditions and customs, and they have the same understanding of politics of their own territory, of that territory which they belongs to. And therefore nationalism is considered to be a spiritual concept of people. जब हम नेशनलिज्म की बात करते हैं तब हमें ये समझना चाहिए कि नेशनलिज्म एक स्पिरिचुअल से ताल्लुक़ रखता है. स्पिरिचुअल डजंट मीन kind of a spiritual like you have with your religion, but here nationalism sometimes is beyond that. और ये नेशनलिज्म लोगों में कैसे आता है? अगर सारे लोग एक ही रेस से बिलोंग करते हो, या कोई एक ही लैंग्वेज बोलते हैं, एक ही ट्रेडिशंस या कस्टम से बिलोंग करते हैं, एक ही रिलीजन को बिलोंग करते हैं, या फिर उनकी जो पॉलिटिकल जो थिंकिंग है ये सेम है टुवर्ड्स देयर ओन जोग्राफी, अगर ये सब कुछ मिलाकर एक होते हैं तो एक नेशनलिज्म को बढ़ावा देते हैं. So therefore nationalism is a spiritual concept which originates with the people of that particular race or particular geographical unity. Moving on, let us take the first definition by Arnold Toney. Now Arnold Toney says that nationalism is nothing material or mechanical but a subjective psychological feeling in a living people. It's very simple that Arnold Toney says that nationalism is not something material or mechanical. It cannot be produced or it cannot be invented. It is a subjective and it is a psychological feeling. Now when we say subjective or when we say psychological, what does it mean? It means it is very broad concept of nationalism. And therefore, as we spoke about, that nationalism include a belonging to a same race, language, traditions and customs, religion, politics and XYZ. And therefore it is also a psychological feeling. Until unless people of that particular land doesn't feel that they belong to this land, if they doesn't have that proud feeling of owning those mountains, owning those forests, owning those plains, river, if they don't connect themselves psychologically to that part of the land, then it's very difficult to have a nationalism. And therefore, rightly Arnold have said that nationalism is nothing material or mechanical, but it is a subjective psychological feeling. आर्नल्ड टोनी कहते हैं कि नेशनलिज्म कोई मटेरियल चीज़ नहीं है, ये कोई मैकेनिकल चीज़ नहीं है कि उसको तैयार किया जाए, वो एक सब्जेक्टिव चीज़ है, वो बहुत एक ब्रॉड कॉन्सेप्ट है। और इस ब्रॉड कॉन्सेप्ट में रेस, रिलीजन, ट्रेडिशन, कस्टम, लैंग्वेज, ये सब मिलाकर एक नेशनलिज्म बनता है। और इसके अलावा वो एक साइकोलॉजिकल फैक्टर भी है। जब तक वो इंसान उस स्टेट में रहता है, उसको जब तक उस स्टेट से कनेक्ट नहीं होता है, इफ़ ही डजंट फील प्राउड ऑफ वेयर ही इज़, इफ़ ही डजंट फील प्राउड ऑफ दैट हिस्ट्री व्हाट ही ओन्स, द स्ट्रक्चर व्हाट ही हैज़, या कोई माउंटेन हो, रिवर हो, प्लेन्स हो, जब तक उसको उन चीज़ों के ऊपर अपना प्राउड फीलिंग नहीं होता है, तब तक it's very difficult to build nationalism. And therefore it is a psychological factor, and therefore we must have seen in many countries, including our own countries, we remember all those heroes who died for these countries, who died for every piece of a land, whether it's in mountains, whether it's in desert, or whether it is in sea. It is psychological feeling. And therefore Arnold have rightly pointed out that nationalism is nothing material or mechanical, but it is a subjective psychological feeling of the people who are living in that particular territory. Moving on, a next definition given by Alfred Grazia. Now he says that nationalism combines the love of a country and suspiciousness of a foreigners. Love of a country comes from shared values, and suspiciousness of a foreigner comes from a belief that foreigners do not share such values in the same strength. It's a very simple point. That according to Alfred, he says nationalism comes from the love of a country. Yes, as I rightly said, one must have a love for his country, and once he loves his countries, he is proud and his honor to have the history of that country, to accept the way the country is, and therefore he also develop a suspiciousness of a foreigners. Now when we talk about love for a country and when we call about a foreigner, it's very simple here. According to Alfred, he says the love of a country comes from their shared values. See, in any country people share those values, especially in India we have different values, right? Started from our freedom struggle to till now. In fact, all the freedom fighters, whether they were moderates, they were revolutionaries, or they were people who believed in non-violence like Gandhiji, these leaders have given us some values, and we have shared these values. And therefore when we have these shared values, not only just philosophy or history, but more than that, as I said, psychological sharing of values are very, very important. And therefore we see foreigners with a suspiciousness, because these foreigners doesn't believe or doesn't share the same values which we are sharing. And therefore in a country like India, we have these values which has built this country from ashes, from 47 to till 2020 we are. It's been more than 70 years. The 70 years is all about those values which we shared among ourselves: equality, liberty, justice, fraternity, secularism, respect for each other, respect for the language which we speak, respect for each other's religion, custom, caste, you name it and you have it. These are these shared values what we have made this country from what it was in 47 to till 2020. And therefore we always see foreigners with a suspiciousness, because that foreigners does not believe in your values and does not share your values. And that's what Alfred have said, that nationalism combines love for the country and suspiciousness for a foreigner. अल्फ्रेड ने एक अच्छी बात कही है कि नेशनलिज्म क्या है. नेशनलिज्म इज़ अ कॉम्बिनेशन ऑफ अ लव फॉर अ कंट्री और सस्पिशन टूवर्ड्स फॉरेनर. जब हम लव फॉर अ कंट्री बोलते हैं तो एक वो लव, वो प्यार अपने देश से आता है, क्योंकि हम लोग अपने देश के जो वैल्यूज़ है वो शेयर करते हैं. जैसे मैंने बोला है, देयर आर डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ वैल्यूज़, डिपेंड्स ऑन विच पार्ट ऑफ द कंट्री बिलोंग्स टू, बट लार्जली We believe in our democracy, we believe in our republic, we believe in socialism, we believe in brotherhood. These are the shared values we have apart from other things. और सस्पिशंस किसके ऊपर आता है? सस्पिशन एक फॉरेनर के ऊपर आता है, क्योंकि वो फॉरेनर आपके वैल्यूज़ में बिलीव नहीं करता और आपके वैल्यू शेयर नहीं करता. एंड देयरफॉर नेशनलिज्म इज कॉम्बिनेशन of love for your country and suspicions for a foreigner. Further, he says that the first shared value is the love of a familiar places, the neighborhood, the land, the house, the valley, and the mountains. All of the surrounding that one loves because they have been part of oneness from infancy. Now, Alfred also says that what are those shared values? He said the shared values comes from your neighborhood, that land where you are living, that house where you lives peacefully, that valley which you have, those mountains which are around you, and all the surrounding things which you have, and they have been there since your childhood or since infancy. And that is what makes you proud. That is what makes you feel that you belong to this land. And that is how that nationalism evolved. आगे जाके अल्फ्रेड ये भी कहता है कि ये शेयर्ड वैल्यूज़ कहाँ से आते हैं. ये शेयर्ड वैल्यूज़ हमारे जगह से आते हैं, जिस कॉलोनी में हम रहते हैं, जिस गांव में हम रहते हैं, जिस स्टेट में हम रहते हैं, हमारे नेबरहुड से आते हैं, हमारे लैंड से आते हैं, हमारे घर से आते हैं, हमारे उस वैली या उस माउंटेन से आते हैं, और उस सारी जगहों से आते हैं जहाँ जो हमको हमारे आसपास है. एंड दैट इज़ व्हाट मेक्स यू बिलीव इन वननेस. और ये सारी चीज़ें हमारे जो इर्द गिर्द या हमारे अगल बगल में है, ये जगह आपको एक आइडेंटिटी देती है, और इसीलिए ये शेयर्ड वैल्यूज़ आर वेरी वेरी इम्पोर्टेंट. मूविंग ऑन, वी हैव another scholar called Ramsey Mayer. Now he says that a nation is a body of a people who feel themselves to be nationally linked together by certain affinity and cannot tolerate subjection to others. Very simple. He has rightly pointed out to the point that nationalism is linked together by a certain affinity. Now, what is the meaning of affinity? Affinity is nothing but liking, a natural liking or understanding of someone or something. Now, this is very, very important aspects of understanding nationalism. The reason is very simple, because when we talk about that affinity, when we talk about that liking, when we talk about understanding, it is very, very important because we all are linked together by our surroundings. And when we like something, we always care for something. And therefore, we cannot tolerate anyone subjugating your liking or subjection to others. And therefore, we do not like, that subjection under somebody else. And therefore, Ramsey has rightly put it very nicely that a nationalism is a body of a people who feel themselves to be a nationally linked together by that common understanding. And therefore, when we have that common understanding, we cannot tolerate any subjection by anybody else. रामसे का कहना है कि नेशन एक बॉडी है, एंड दैट बॉडी इज ऑफ अ पीपल. नेशन एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है, और ये ऑर्गेनाइजेशन लोगों से बनी है, और ऐसे लोगों से बनी है जो सारे एक दूसरे के साथ लिंक्ड है. एंड वाई दे आर लिंक्ड टुगेदर? बिकॉज ऑफ कॉमन अंडरस्टैंडिंग एंड कॉमन लाइकिंग टू ईच अदर. हम सब हिंदुस्तानी या कोई भी देश का सिटीजन ले लो, एक दूसरे से जुड़े हैं, और एक दूसरे से जुड़े हैं बहुत कारण की वजह से. मे बी एक लैंग्वेज बोलते हैं, एक रिलीजन से बिलोंग करते हो, या फिर एक कस्टम्स ट्रेडिशंस, या फिर एक बिलोंगिंगनेस है. और जब हम एक साथ जुड़े हैं तो हम कभी भी किसी को टॉलरेट नहीं करेंगे अगर कोई हमारे ऊपर राज करना चाहे कोई हमारे ऊपर, और कोई हमें सब्जेक्शन मतलब कोई हमारे ऊपर रूल करना चाहे. That will never be tolerated, and that is very, very important. The question again I'm going to raise here is that why we lost our freedom way back to various invaders or various invading forces. It's because although we were all together, we were not together because we had lot of differences. We were divided among ourselves between various kingdoms, various empires, and there was all subjugation all over the country. And that is what all the invading forces, whether they came from Central Asia or whether they came from Europe, they controlled us and they ruled over us because we were not together the way we today. And therefore that entire freedom struggle, वो पूरी आज़ादी की जो लड़ाई चली, उस लड़ाई में हम सबको एक कर दिया by various people, and therefore we could fought against the British and we got our freedom. राम से ने एक बहुत अच्छी बात कही है, इसलिए हमें ये समझना चाहिए कि नेशन जो होता है वो एक लोगों से बनता है, और जो नेशनलिज्म है वो हमें एक दूसरे के साथ लाता है, एंड वी bring together because of our common understanding and common liking, and therefore we don't tolerate and we shall never tolerate subjugation to any others. Moving on to the John Randall, he says nationalism is almost the one idea for which masses of men will still die. Very true. Even today in 21st century, whenever it comes to nationalism, people are always ready to die, and we have seen this since 1947, and even before that until now. We have seen many wars, we have seen many conflicts, and in those conflicts people are being sacrificing their life only to protect that nationalism. आज भी हमने देखा है कि नेशनलिज्म के ऊपर आज भी हज़ारों लोग मरने के लिए तैयार है, because that is what the nationalism is. It's a very simple definition by John Randall. Moving on to next definition by Louis Snyder. According to Louis, nationalism is a product of political, economic, social and intellectual factors at a certain stage in history. Is a condition of a mind, feeling of sentiment of a group of a people living in a well-defined geographical area, speaking a common language, possessing a literature in which the aspiration of the nation have been expressed, attached to a common tradition and common customs, venerating its own heroes, and in some cases having a common religion. Now this is what Louis Snyder have said about nationalism, that he says nationalism is a product of political, economic, social and intellectual factor. Yeah, and yes, even today these products, so-called political, economic and social and intellectual factors, are even very very important to unite the nation, to move a nation in one direction through which one can always attain the best. And it is also a condition of a mind, it is also a feeling for or sentiment of a group of a people living in a well-defined geographical area, that people are living in a particular geographical area and they are connected, they have that feeling towards that geographical area, they have that feeling, they have that sentiment, that attachment to that geographical area, not only geographical area but also to that language what they speak, also to that literature which has always inspired them. Why? Because that language, that literature has aspired the nation, has expressed the belonging to that nation. They also have that attachment to a common tradition what they share, a common customs, and always they remember their heroes who have given their life. And in some cases religion also plays very very important role. लुइस स्नाइडर ने बहुत अच्छी तरीके से नेशनलिज्म को बयां किया है। उनका कहना है कि नेशनलिज्म एक प्रोडक्ट है जिसमें पॉलिटिक्स भी आता है, जिसमें इकोनॉमिक्स भी आता है, जिसमें सोशल लाइफ भी आता है और उसमें इंटेलेक्चुअल फैक्टर्स भी इन्वॉल्व है। क्योंकि किसी भी देश को अगर आगे बढ़ना है तो एक पॉलिटिकल विल, पॉलिटिकल विजन होना बहुत ज़रूरी है। उस पॉलिटिकल विजन को इकोनॉमिक पॉलिसीज़ सपोर्ट करना बहुत इम्पॉर्टेंट है, उसके अलावा सोसाइटी को मोबिलाइज़ करना बहुत इम्पॉर्टेंट है, और इन सारी चीज़ों को अगर एक दिशा देनी है तो एक इंटेलेक्चुअल फैक्टर्स भी बहुत इम्पॉर्टेंट है। और ये हमने देखा है बहुत देशों में, और इवन इन आवर ओन कंट्री व्हेन द आइडिया ऑफ इंडिया वाज पुट फॉरवर्ड, it was not put forward by any Tom, Dick and Harry, but people who have understood the oneness of this country, people who have understood the diversity of this country, Those were those intellectual people who drafted our very individual constitution, and therefore we are proud of those people who have contributed to the rise of this country. इसके अलावा भी फीलिंग या सेंटिमेंट बहुत ज़रूरी है जोग्राफिकल एरिया को उस जोग्राफिकल एरिया की तरफ उस ज़मीन से जुड़े रहना बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है। और हमारा देश ऐसा है, एक तरफ हिमालयाज़ है, एक तरफ डेजर्ट है, एक तरफ डेंस फॉरेस्ट है हमारे नॉर्थ ईस्ट में, और ऑब्वियसली वी हैव सीज इन आवर साउथ एंड ओशंस राइट अंडर द ग्रेट इंडियन पेनिनसुला। ये सारी चीज़ें जोग्राफिकल एरिया मेक्स यू व्हाट यू बिलोंग्स टू, और इसीलिए हम एक भारतवासी है, इसलिए हम हिंदुस्तानी हैं या फिर इंडियंस है। इसके अलावा भी लैंग्वेजेस प्लेज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट रोल। Now India is an exceptional country where we have so many dialects and languages. But having said so, this is the beauty of this country, that we all have been united, although we may speak different languages. But by and large, all these languages have managed to win the hearts of the people. And therefore, it also relate to literature. हमारा जो literature है, वो सारे literature एक नेशन की तरफ हमें अट्रैक्ट करते हैं। उस लिटरेचर में बहुत से सारे ऐसी चीज़ें लिखी है हमारे हिस्ट्री के बारे में, बहुत से ऐसे इंसिडेंट्स जो लिखे हैं जिससे हमें प्रोत्साहन मिलता है, क्योंकि ये लिटरेचर ही हमारा अस्तित्व है या हमारी आइडेंटिटी है। इसके अलावा वी ऑल्सो हैव अ कॉमन ट्रेडिशंस एंड कल्चर। द इंडियन ट्रेडिशंस एंड कल्चर इज़ अ वर्ल्ड फेमस। हमारे हज़ारों हीरोज़ हैं, हर एक स्टेट में, हर एक रीजन में आपको हीरोज़ मिलेंगे। ये सारे हीरोज़ जिन्होंने हम अपनी जान दे दी, इट्स ऑल बिकॉज ऑफ दैट आइडिया ऑफ इंडिया। और कुछ कुछ देशों में रिलीजन्स ऑल्सो प्लेज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट रोल। इवन इन इंडिया फॉर दैट मैटर, वेदर वी लाइक इट और नॉट, religion still plays the very important role, either uniting people or vice versa. So this is what Louis have said about nationalism. And last definitions I would like to quote is our very own Aurobindo Ghosh. Now Aurobindo Ghosh have said that nationalism is a religion that has come from God. Nationalism is a creed in which you shall have to live. It is an attitude of the heart, of the soul. What the intellectual could not do, this mighty force of passionate conviction born out of the very faith of national consciousness will be able to accomplish. This is very very important definition given by Aurobindo Ghosh, कि वो बोलते हैं कि nationalism is a religion. Yes, even in India, nationalism is a religion that has come from the God. Nationalism is a creed in which you shall have to live. It is an attitude of the heart, of the soul. And therefore, जो intellectual कर नहीं पाए, वो एक mighty force of passionate लोग करेंगे जो believe करते हैं उस nationalism में. And therefore, every Indian from India's perspective have to believe in that national consciousness. And one day, we will be able to accomplish it. He wrote this during India's freedom movement, and today we have accomplished to become a nation with all diversities, with all differences, yet we are together. And that is how the beauty of nationalism in a country like India is. So this is all about the meaning and definitions of nationalism. I hope you have understood the meaning and definitions of nationalism. In next tutorial, we shall talk about historical development of nationalism. Till then, take care.